All right, so we're going to talk about how to put all our fires together and make one big fire. We used to say it all the time. The way we used to try to grow our business is we fly around the country, these big masterminds, pay a bunch of money to be a part of coaching groups, and then we would network with the top people in the industry, right? That's how anybody I know that's ever become successful in real estate, that's how they did it. They didn't do it because they figured it all out on their own. They learned by modeling success of other people, right? So that's what I've done. That's what we have always done to be successful. But we used to always say, man, wouldn't it be cool if we could put all our fires together and make one big fire? We never would have got past the name of the company because it would have been like Kinder, Reese, Johnson, whatever, Gove, whatever real estate company, right? Like we could have gotten our egos out of the way in order to be able to all partner together. But that's really what we get to do here at EXP is put all of our fires together and make one big fire. And so we're going to talk about harnessing the power of EXP's exponential business model. And the thing that's the most fascinating to me about this opportunity is, first of all, it's passive income, but it's exponential growth of a passive income where you don't have to put a capital investment in. There's nothing like it anywhere on the planet of any kind whatsoever in terms of opportunity. You don't have to invest anything into it. Anything else you want to try to create passive income with, it takes a bunch of capital in order to do that. And so, and there's nothing that grows exponentially that I know of. I've never seen anything like it. And so really you want to take advantage of that. And so this is just a little breakdown, assuming the average per agent is worth about $812. That might be a little bit high from what I'm seeing, but it's pretty close. And so, 50 agents is worth, an average of 40,000 annual. 100 agents worth 81,000. 250 agents is worth 200,000. 500 agents worth 400,000. 1,000 is worth 812. All the way down to 5,000 agents worth around 4 million. Or 338,000 a month. That's pretty unbelievable, right? The opportunity, and Dave Kennord said the other day, and he said it a lot, and we should all be saying it a lot. That probably the person that's made the most money in revenue share in this company probably hasn't even joined yet. We've got, think about that. How many people are going to join in the next 3 years? They got to join under somebody. There's only one way to join. You got to join under somebody. So the person that's making the most money in revenue share may not even be here yet, right? So the opportunity is just as bigger than as it probably ever has been. Now we're in all these countries we're opening up, and so it's really, really exciting. And it's time. The time is now. It's not tomorrow. It's right now. It's time to focus on this right now. So the power of revenue share. Just to compare. If you have, the goal is always to get to passive income. Now, this is something I think I looked past it, right? I set these goals in real estate. They trained me how to be on the transaction treadmill, right? Giving me awards for all the houses I would sell. So I kept setting these goals to sell more houses. Eventually, they set a goal of 500 plus homes a year. Sold 531 that year. It was the most miserable year of my life. That was not the goal. Like, you get to the top of the ladder and realize your ladder's up against the wrong wall. There's got to be a better way than. I wasn't getting more time freedom, but the goal should have been around time freedom. That's what it should have been around. But I thought in my mind 500 transactions equals time freedom. I was wrong. It doesn't. So it's not about selling more real estate for me. It was about finding a better way. And so that's where we're at here with this better way. But monthly revenue share of $50,000 a month, it would take $12 million invested at 5% interest in order for you to have that passive income. Right? That's pretty crazy, right? So there's no faster way to become wealthy that I know of on the planet than being at EXP and helping bring other people to this opportunity. I don't think there's anything that you can do that's going to create more wealth faster with less investment and really gives you time freedom. So where you invested your time, I just pulled up a few of these. I don't know what can and can't be shared publicly, so please don't share this publicly. Brent doesn't even know I was going to do this, but so. And this was probably a year ago. This was a long time ago. So Brent, I think this was at one of our masterminds when I created this original presentation. He was coming to the mastermind, and then I did the presentation like a year later, and I showed his numbers again. I was like, look what happened to his numbers in a year. They doubled. It's unbelievable. That's exponential. And so this was 2 years and 4 months in. He was at a 2.5 million a year run rate at that time, right? Pretty incredible. And so I pulled up, this was one, this is not even recent, this is probably 6 months ago. And he was at, look where he's at, right? 500,000, right? This opportunity for those of you, and I could be proven wrong, and we could get into the numbers, like the company numbers, and really try to find this, but I don't know that anybody that's joined the company that's got 15 or 20 or 25 agents to join this company that doesn't end up with 500, 1,000, 5,000 people in the company. It's just a game. I mean, it's a relationship game, not a numbers game, like Gene said yesterday. But it's very much about looking for the people that are looking for opportunity. And a lot of us that have been in this business a long time are looking for that. We're feeling around like this, like where is it? There's got to be a better way than selling more houses every year. And so that's what the opportunity is. And this, I think I have a couple other examples in here. This was mine. This was, I don't remember exactly how long ago this was, but it was at 96,000. This was at the time that I ran this last one, it was 250 in a month. In a month. Are you kidding me? Like, it's unbelievable. And it's not, and now, and I could even show you more. This was Cliff way back in the day. He's up over like 400,000 a month. It's that kind of opportunity, but you have to learn the business. If it doesn't duplicate, it doesn't matter. And that's a really important thing. I see a lot of people that have really kick-ass YouTube channels and great social media followings, but that doesn't duplicate. You can't get someone out there to go shoot videos and duplicate and attract people the same way. So you need a system to follow. And so what I want to share with you guys today is the system that I believe is the most duplicatable way for you to build a huge group at EXP. So harnessing the power of exponential growth. This is just the difference in getting everybody to bring in one agent a month versus 2 agents a month, right? So you get 1 plus 1 is 2, or plus 2 is 3. So the difference in exponential growth, right? That's the difference. Focusing on this. That's what makes it grow exponentially. Your agent count is going to grow based upon how many people you can get to focus on agent attraction. Just a little bit. Try to help everybody, right? And so that's really what we're seeing. The people that have done the best in the company are all focusing on helping everyone, finding the people that are not everyone's going to do it, but the ones that will. You want to help them and help them find people that are just like them and continue to push that ball down the field. And ultimately, that's why we're seeing the ridiculous numbers. And so this is kind of a mindset that we've adopted is you've not recruited someone until you've helped them bring a friend, right? So like if you think someone, like there was a story yesterday. It was it's Veronica's assistant, right hand. And he said, and he was telling the story about his first person that he brought over in RevShare and how he made $1,200. And he was telling the story. He was so excited about it because he hadn't been focused on that, right? But he's like, I made $1,200, and he was so excited. Now, and how many of you, when you got your first check, was excited, right? Like, especially when you don't know it's coming. A lot of times it's like you're like, oh wait, somebody sold something, right? Where'd that come from, right? If you can make that happen for somebody else, what do you think the odds that they're ever going to leave are? They're probably never going to leave, right? And they're probably going to go tell another friend. That's why we all get so excited about the opportunity. This is real, y'all. I made and I didn't do nothing for it, right? And so you want to make sure that you don't leave them hanging. You want to make sure they may not be interested in it, but they have those relationships and you want to tap into them, right? And so building oil wells in your organization. So if you just bring on Michelle and Billy and you don't help them to identify who are the relationships that they have that might be open to an opportunity, then you're gonna have a flat organization that's not gonna grow. You want to tap into, okay, who does John? Oh, John's coming. Who does John know? Oh, John knows Mary. Who else is Mary? Who does Mary know? Tracy. You want to drill deep into the relationships of the people that you bring on. Don't just assume that they're gonna go do what we tell them to do or what we hope they're gonna do. It's your responsibility, right? So, you have the opportunity. A lot of people that I talk to say, man, I've run out of people to talk to. I don't know anybody else. Well, what better person to talk to? Would you rather talk to your new recruits, 10 sharpest, most ambitious potential prospects, or 10 random people that maybe aren't the same caliber of who you're looking for? So those relationships are out there. You never run out of people to talk to. You want to drill deep and find those relationships and look for people that are looking for you, looking for opportunity. That's what I think a big part of this is the handful of people are going to be focused on the opportunity, and I talk to the opportunity more than I talk to selling real estate. I believe you can sell real estate anywhere. Do I believe this is the best place to sell real estate? Absolutely, I do. Do I believe I can help you sell more real estate? Absolutely, I do. But I'm looking for somebody that's not just wanting to come sell more houses. I'm looking for the people that are interested in growing a revenue share and looking for opportunity. Those people are the people that are going to do the work, right? And so we're looking for those people. So taproot until you find the next general. You'll find somewhere in your organization this is, I hate the terminology, but this is a lot of this is built from the book, Building an Empire. So great book, Brian Carruthers, highly endorsed that book. It's great. It's his system that we've kind of adopted really here. And drill down until you find the next general. You don't know, you could bring somebody who says duds lead to studs. Like somebody comes on, they have relationships, but they don't really want to go talk to him or whatever. They can make a text message, and I have the script a little bit later to introduce you to them to you or to someone in your revenue share group, one of your partners, for them to make that introduction to have a look at the opportunity. And so that's what you're always looking for, is you taproot until you find a general. And really what you want is, you want a leg where you got a general that has 3 generals. So you got 3 people in your group that are focused on agent attraction at least some of the time. They're committed to it, right? And to me, commitment starts when they print out that wealth chart. And if they don't have a wealth chart and they're not updating that and sending that to me, then I don't take them as serious. That's how I know, okay, you're at least you're going to have it up in front of you where you're looking at it every day. And that's one of the first steps we'll talk about here in a minute. But you want to keep finding more generals for those people. Now you've got a leg that's going to go, right? Those people, when you find those kind of people and you want to help those people, bring their people on, now you've got something that's going to start growing. And it doesn't have to be 3, but I think 3 is the ideal if you could. So anchoring agents, so getting them to the next event, share the vision of the company with them, get clear on their big why, and remind them. We should know what every one of our people's whys are. Why is this important to you? Why are you trying? Why is revenue share important to you? A lot of people have a big why as to why it's important to them. But you need to know what that is and remind them of it. Be a champion of the company and share your testimonial. Get them their first recruit in the first week. We're going to talk about a little system that's a little bit of a heavy lift to do, but it's so much faster if you do it this way. Your growth will happen a lot faster. Get them their first revenue share check in the first 90 days. Get them indoctrinated into the systems and the tools, Facebook, Workplace, EXP World, all of that. Don't leave that up to the company to make sure that they get onboarded successfully and they're plugged into everything they need. Make that part of your checklist and make sure that they are plugged into the things they need to be plugged into to be successful at EXP, right? And then genuinely care about them and make them feel special. That's your new business partner you brought on. Make them feel that way. So launching your business. So launching your business versus starting your business. Agent success at EXP is your opportunity and your responsibility, right? It's a huge opportunity, but it's also your responsibility. Agent success is your responsibility. When they come on board, you take that as your responsibility. Don't think that someone else is going to make sure that they're happy and that everything's going well. And so it's easier to build fast than it is slow. So you can give 20 presentations individually, or get on, leverage your partners to have 20 three-way calls, or you could present to 20 people at one time in the first week that someone gets on, which is a better strategy, right? Launching it properly would be what we call launching your business. This would save you 19 hours of time. It compresses time frames so that you start making money faster. More people come on early rather than over a period of time it takes to meet with 20 people individually. It creates a better story. When you have somebody that comes on and they're making money in revenue share right away, that's a much better story for them to tell. So it makes it easier for them to do the same. It creates synergy by building in waves. You're teaching leverage to those in the recruiting process. It's a leverage, high leverage activity. Hey, let's get a list of all your names. Let's invite all of them to one presentation privately that I'm going to do for you and present to all of them at one time, as opposed to presenting one to one, right? And this is key. Your business will, and if everybody did that, what happens to your group? It grows exponentially, right? Like if that was how everybody was brought on, and it's hard to go back and try to put some of these systems in place, I've learned. So the sooner you try to adopt them, the better, because when people understand, well, this is how you do it, then they're going to say, yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. That's how I got brought on, same way, right? So the system helps with the growth of the entire organization underneath you. So what you do duplicates. So if you start slow, so will your team. Right? If you start off slow, one-to-one, and are dragging, kind of dragging a little bit, they're going to do the same thing, right? Because that's what they experience with you. So the number one key to success in agent attraction is committing 100% to the system. What I've seen, the agents that have joined our organization, and I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I pulled up, there's at least 6 people that are at $2 million and above You got to feel good that feels? Like, unbelievable, right? Thank God for them, right? They're awesome. And then below that, it was like above $1 million, there was another like 8 or 9, right? That are pacing for $1 million in the next 12 months. And then there's a whole bunch below that are like, I think there's 25 that were pacing for $500,000 and above. And I believe all of them have the potential to be at 5,000. They have the potential to be making the kind of ridiculous money I was talking about. That's a lot of people, right? But they have to be committed to the system. If they don't commit to the system, then it doesn't work. So what I've seen is the people that are, it doesn't matter who it is, Dan Hilsman, who's at 500, almost, or he's over 500 now, $2 million producer, not a bunch of influence, focused. Follow the process. That dude I did three-way calls with. If there's one thing about Dan Hilsman, the first year in the business, since he joined at EXP, he had me on three-way calls every single day with somebody. Every single day. He followed that process. And I said, don't answer any of their questions, just put them on a call with me. He got to a point where about 6 months in, Dan said, hey man, I know the answers to some of these questions. Like if they ask me like what the splits are, I told him, don't answer any questions. Just put them on a call with me. He's like, if they ask me the split, can I tell them? I was like, I don't know, what we're doing is working, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe not. Maybe you shouldn't answer any questions. But he took it literally, and it was working, right? Because he had this leverage of selling me, and then I would help to sell the opportunity in the company and how we could help them and how we could serve them. But that works. So we'll talk about three-way calls in a little bit. So it's committing to the system. Like I said, if it doesn't duplicate, it doesn't matter. So people-driven versus systems-driven. So if it's people-driven, everything hinges on your involvement, right? Meetings only happen when you host them. Presentations only happen when you do them. Your revenue share group only gets trained when you train them. The only way to achieve true freedom lies in the fact that the business must be built to rely on a system and not just you, right? So that's a key. And so the system, get fired up. Everybody's still pretty fired up. I'm fired up 3 years in. I've never been more fired up than I am today. So it's hard not to be. Make your list. Do the private group presentation. Plug them into the weekly. It could be lunch and learns. It could be something different. We'll talk a little bit about some of the different things that you can do. We have a partner presentation we do twice a week live that anybody can plug into. Attend, and then getting them to attend all events. Events are huge. I mean, big decisions are made at big events. Getting people to events. I'm ready for 2021. Start having some more of these types of events, getting people together. So getting fired up. Commit to working on your growth mindset daily, right? This is never ending, right? This is forever and ever and ever and ever. You're always committed to putting the right things in your mind and having a positive mindset, starting the day with gratitude, all those types of things. That's that never ends. Surround yourself with positive people who support your vision, right? This is your family, right? There's plenty of that here. We attract that kind of person at EXP, so there's no shortage of the right people around you. Set goals and track what you do daily. This is not something to just take as this is not a part-time thing. You want to set goals and track just like you would if you were trying to sell a certain number of homes a year. You want to do the same thing with your agent attraction, and this is why printing out the wealth chart is so important, because you can't ignore it. You're like, I see it now. It's in front of me every day, reminding you that you didn't do what you said you were going to do, right? Sometimes we need that, right? And so that's a little system that's important. You're selling EXP and your entire revenue share group. There's not a problem that anybody in the real estate industry has that cannot be solved by somebody that's with us here at EXP. Like, there's no problem that anyone has that can't be solved by one of us, right? In terms of helping somebody grow their real estate business. There's nothing, right? And so make sure you know the people in your revenue share group that can help people with different problems. I said that. I think I said it twice. So be relentless, right? So be relentless. If anybody ever felt like that, I have felt like that for a long time, actually, before I joined EXP. Felt like that's what you had to do. So make your list. Make your list of every real estate agent in your sphere of influence, agents you think that are ambitious, sharp as a tack, minimum of 50. We say 100 now, as many as you can. Make that list of the affiliates that you know, mortgage, title, other people that where real estate agents confide in them when they're not happy with where they're at, right? And so those are relationships that could turn into introductions for an opportunity to have a conversation. Your list is your gold mine, and it's always growing. You're always adding to it. It's never ending. It's not some finite thing. You're always adding to the list. You're always adding names to the list of conversations. So there's the wealth chart. Print it out, pin it up on your wall. Set your goal for all levels. Update it daily. Text it to me or someone in your group monthly so they know you're serious. The only person that does that is Dan Hillsman in my entire group. He's the only one. He like clockwork on the first of the month. He's the only one that texts me. Does he text you, Mike, every time? Yep. And so do I always know that Dan's working on it? Yeah, he's thinking about it every single day. Not a day goes by. He didn't have to ever sell a house again, by the way, if he doesn't want to. He still does, but he's focused, right? And so, here's the thing. I would do a call for anybody. Anybody can. I'll do a call for anybody. And I've been pretty good about not missing. Every once in a while, the text messages get buried too deep, and I do miss a text message from time to time. That doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. It's probably more this month since we were moving. But like the people that I'll move mountains for are the people that I consistently see trying to put people in my calendar. Because I know what they're doing, and I know what the result is going to be of them doing that, and they're consistently doing it, and that's those people. I'll move mountains to help those people because those people are going to build huge groups in your organization, and so keep that and use that. There's a great video Rob Flick did years ago that breaks this whole thing down and why you do it and everything else, and you should all watch that video too. So the 8-step invitation script. So be in a hurry, give a sincere compliment, make the invitation. If I would you, then we're going to get their commitment. We're going to confirm the appointment, and the last one will be the triple commitment. So you're going to get them to commit 3 times and get off the phone or get out of the way. Don't say anything else. You'll probably mess it up, right? Like this is not something you want to stick around because we all want to try to start telling people about EXP. It's the number one rule about EXP. It's like Fight Club. Don't talk about Fight Club, right? Like the minute you start trying to explain it, you're gonna lose them, right? Because they're only listening to, okay, that sounds just like something else I know. I'm not interested, right? That's all they're listening for. And you can't get through it in a short period of time. It's a long way to carry someone to explain the whole entire business model of EXP cold, right? And most people that tell you, still to this day, I will tell you, if they say they understand EXP's business model, there's a 99% chance that they have no clue what the business model is. They do not understand it. They think with whatever little investment of time that they've made that they understand it. Most people don't understand it. So don't take that for granted. If they say that they understand it, it doesn't mean that they do. So here's what that looks like. So say, I don't have much time, Mike, but I've always respected you and how you do business, right? So that's somebody that you respect, that you're paying them a sincere compliment, right? Let me ask you a question. If I can show you a way to add a new revenue stream to your real estate business, would you be open to it? I like that question because opportunity-minded people can't say no to that, right? They're not going to be like, no. Now, some people will. I'm fine with that. I'm not looking for that person. I'm looking for the person that when you ask that question, they say yes. If I text you a link and a short video explaining the opportunity, would you take a look at it? That's if I would you, right? So it's like, if I would you is a really, really nice little way to say, I'm gonna do something for you, will you do something for me, right? So if I was to send you a link explaining the opportunity, would you take a look at it? And if I can get one of the top guys in the company on the phone, would you be open to learning more? That's the if I would you. That's really more for the three-way call, not to get them to watch the video. If I send you a video about the company, would you poke holes in it and tell me if I'm crazy? This is the most exciting thing I've ever seen, right? That's how Al got me. Like, he's like, listen, I need you to poke holes in this. Like, I'm about to jump off a cliff here, I think is how he worded it. Like, all right, let me look at it. And I looked at it before, and I thought I understood the opportunity. I didn't. I did not see it. Not the first 2 times. So, this is the first commitment. When do you think you can watch it by? So you could say, hey, you think you can watch that tonight? And they may say yes, but that's not them mentally committing. Them mentally committing is when you say, when do you think you can watch it by? Well, let's see, tonight we got a birthday party. I could probably watch it maybe by Tuesday. Okay, so if I called you on Wednesday morning, you would for sure have watched it by then. That's a third commitment. They said yes when you said, if I would you. They said they had to commit to a time that they would watch it by, and then you confirm that last piece. So if I called you after this, you would have for sure watched it. There are 2 tools that are out there that I know of. There's probably a lot more, actually. In fact, I think BombBomb does this. I don't know if it does it in KV Core or not, that tracks whether people watch the video or not. To me, that's the most important thing. It's a dead giveaway. Somebody watches the video. Like, we use Expert Mentors. That's the tool we kind of created, and it works really well for just all it is you send somebody a personalized link. It tracks whether they watch the video or not. That's basically the gist of that technology. CRM Grow, another great tool. It's a little bit more advanced, has a lot more features. So it does the same thing. You send somebody a video, you know if they watched it. That's what you really want to know when you talk to them, right? When you call them, I want to know if they watched 21 minutes of it, or if they watched the whole thing, or if they watched it 3 times in a row. That's a good sign. People that watch it, what I've found is it's like a 90% success rate with people that watch the entire video that join the company. If they invest an hour, it's real hard for them, if they're smart people, right? And people that are going to be like, man, I'm not interested, they're not going to watch the whole thing. They're going to jump off early. That happens a lot. Some of those people I can get to watch it, but I'm looking for people that watch the video and that invested the time. And then I don't know how it gets watched more than once, but like when I see that they've watched it 2 or 3 times in its entirety, then I know that either they send it to a friend or they watch it with their spouse when they get home. They're definitely really interested, and you got to get those people on a three-way call. Biggest mistake I think people make at EXP is trying to answer the questions on their own without leveraging. You think you can do it on your own, you need to leverage someone else. It's such a huge lever for you. You got to get into a rhythm of leveraging other people to help answer the bigger questions, and they have a better story too. If they've been here longer than you and they're doing better, more successful, they're going to be able to really influence the decision and shorten the time frame of people making a decision to come on board. Yep.
What's that platform for tracking a video?
You could use CRM Grow or Expert Mentors, and it might be even already included in the KV Core. I still don't know the functionality of it, but KV Core has now BombBomb with it, and I think BombBomb tracks video whether somebody watches it or not. So any of those 3 probably would work.
So you need a separate subscription for BombBomb, right, for that?
I don't know. I don't remember if it's included. Somebody told me that BombBomb was now included, and I don't know if the
10 per month.
It's $10 extra per month.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. And
No,
it's
I
second
thought
for-
that it was 10 free per month.
No, well, you get 10 free video views, but if you want to pay the extra,
Okay.
Right.
don't hold on to it.
Right.
The second part of the question was, there are many videos. Which one is your go-to that you find the best conversion?
Yeah, so hard to say. Well, Go probably has the best one of all, I think. It's probably the most universally used, the one that's on BritGo Resources. I think that's it. The Model Explain, there you go. Yeah. That's probably the most widely used and the best example that I've seen of anyone. The other one, and I haven't, and there may be one that's out there, but we do one for independents and teams, and so we target a lot of that, and that one is very good for independents and teams because I'm talking directly to the problems of a team and an independent, which is a completely different problem that EXP solves. And so that one is on YouTube. It's like if you just Google EXP for independents and teams and my name, it'll probably pop right up. If not, it's on my YouTube channel. But that's a good one for those scenarios. They tend to we get a lot of good responses from people that watch that one.
Jay, one of the most interesting things that you said on this slide was that you had looked at the model twice before you actually got it.
Yep.
What were the series there? What were you watching before you
Yeah.
got it?
So and interestingly enough, the person that sent it to me the first time was somebody I did. The first time that somebody told me about the company, I remember I was at an Ohio State game with my son, and this was the year before Baker planted the flag at Ohio State. Loved that game. We lost that game, the game when they came to play in Norman. But I was introduced to this lender, and I was getting introduced to not a lender, to an agent, and he kept talking about the stock. He just kept talking about it over and over. He's trying to show me on his phone, and I was like, this guy should be asking me questions. I could help him grow his business, but he couldn't stop talking about EXP. And I'd never heard of it at the time, and so he didn't have enough influence really that I was willing to listen. That was the first time. But my takeaway leaving that game was like, ownership is a big deal, right? Big deal. Agents, they care about it. So that was just an aha takeaway for me. And again, I was thinking about our own model, right? Implementing this into what we were doing, not, I'm going to go jump and join another company, and just didn't quite get it. The second time, Chris Waters, who was one of our clients, #1 agent in Austin, Texas, he said, hey man, you guys should look at this model. So I looked at it, shared it with our CFO at the time. I was excited about the model but I still didn't get it, right? I still didn't get the revenue share wasn't real to me. I didn't know what that meant. And as far as the stock goes, I understood the principle behind it. What's it worth? I have no idea. How that would work with as many shares and that kind of stuff. So I didn't truly understand the model. And so when Al hit me with the, poke holes in this, I was looking through a different lens. I was looking through a help my friend lens, not through a what about me, is this for me lens, where I would have been probably less open-minded, right? And then as I'm looking at it for him, I'm thinking about it for me too. I'm like, this looks like a pretty big opportunity for you, Al, and maybe me too, right? Like, so, because I wasn't feeling like I was being sold to look at the opportunity for myself. I feel like I was more open-minded. So that's why I kind of like that script for that. So this is the PGP invitation script. So hey, Bill, it's Jay. Look, I don't know if you knew this, but I needed to change, so I've been investigating an opportunity to take my real estate business and income to the next level. I ran across a really sharp guy that's been tremendously successful, and he's working with a highly disruptive real estate brokerage, and you were the first person I thought of. He's going to do a private conference call, date and time. If I could get you a link to join that call, would you be willing to jump on and give me your feedback? Really straightforward, right? With people that know you and respect you, this is for your relationships, your key relationships. You just joined EXP. I want you to send that text message. You can make it your own or whatever, but essentially that message to all of those people invited to one presentation that someone's going to do, not you, someone else. You're going to have someone in your group do it, right? So that, again, if they invite 25 people and you get 5 people or 6 people or 7 people to join a Zoom, that's 7 people that got to see it right out of the gate. You're gonna grow faster using that process, private group presentation for the people that they're close relationships that they would want. It's not going to be something you blast to everybody. You want the people that know them, that know that person, have a relationship with them, and that would probably respond with a yes to that question. Right? It's pretty simple. Skipping this step is a mistake I believe that most of us are making. I don't do it all the time. To be quite honest, I don't do it every single time like I should. Keys to success: be enthusiastic, keep the presentation brief, facts tell, stories sell, paint the vision, send them the agent attraction video and why partner with us video. We have a little bit more customized video about what additional value we bring to the table. Everybody's groups have additional value that you bring to the table. You want to be aware of what that is and how to communicate that so that they see, hey, if I join with you, this is some other things I'm going to get access to. Follow up with each person and get their questions answered. Keep your well chart updated. Right? So 3-way calls. It's you and you edify the other person, and that translates to respect and influence and trust, right, from the prospect. It's funny because like when some people, especially when we're talking to like an agent that maybe doesn't want to share the real truth about where they're at, or especially independents and teams that want you to believe that they're doing so well, but we kind of know the math. Like if you've been in the game long enough, you kind of don't. We already know how much money you're making. You don't have to lie about it. Right? You're not making right. And so we kind of know that, but like they won't tell you one-to-one, right? They want to play a little like, oh well, yeah, it's doing great, yeah, it's really great. They're not. They're struggling. They're definitely all struggling. So that's it's funny, like, yeah, man, they just won't tell me. Andrew, we had a situation where the guy was like real standoffish, wouldn't really tell you kind of his numbers. He gets on a call with me, tells me everything right out of the gate, right? Like just opens right up. But it's because Andrew edified me, made me look like I levitate, and so this guy kind of saw me as someone that may be able to help him. So when I started asking him questions about his business, he wasn't standoffish. He felt like, okay, well, this guy's just going to try to help me. Let's see what he comes up with, right? And so that's a big part of the process is edify. It's the easiest way. I don't know how you do it any other way, right? Edify someone else, make them levitate, let them sell the story on what, and then again, this goes back to Gene, Team A. Tell me about yourself, right? They start telling you about their business, how long they've been doing it, and then they'll eventually get to the point where there's pain, or you keep asking questions until you get to that point, and then you think it's not real hard to match up. Well, man, let me tell you how this is going to help you, right? Like we had a guy the other day that was just about to get off the phone. We hit him just out of nowhere, basically out of left field, and get him on a call. And he's like, yeah. And then he started asking his vision. And this was like my aha from yesterday, just listening, like a reminder, like, man, I'm not doing that. You're always learning, right? And so you come to these events and you hear something, you're like, man, I should be doing that. I'm not doing it. And I had this aha yesterday the same. And it was what happened at the end of that call by accident was we got him to talk about his vision, right? And I obviously didn't ask that question soon enough because we were about to lose him on the call, and he said, hey, I'm going to open up, I got a lot of things on my plate. I'm going to open up this team in Florida, And I'm like, we're both smiling while he's talking. We're like, this guy has no idea how, like, this is perfect for this guy. Like, it's the perfect way for him to accomplish his vision, even more so than he even possibly could have known. And he was thinking, oh, no, I should get off this call. I got plenty of things on my mind, like things I got to do, and this plan, and I got to get my license in Florida. No, you don't. You don't have to. You want to start a team in Florida at EXP? You can do that. Guess what? You only have one cap, one set of fees, too. So how are you going to do that? Well, I wasn't going to join the same company he's at there. He was going to have to join some other company, right? So that's a heavy lift. That's a hard thing to try to do, but that was his vision. And it's easier to do it at EXP. If we had not stumbled into that, if I'd have been more intentional about it, you're going to find there's something that's going to align to what their vision is that's way better at EXP than what any other option that they may have, right? And so they don't know, at least initially, they don't really know that revenue share is the bigger opportunity. And sometimes they certainly aren't looking for that, right? They're not looking for that. They're looking for the thing they know. How to sell more houses. Transaction treadmill, right? Let me sell more houses. I'm going to sell houses in Florida too. Yeah, that's going to work really well. I've tried all that. It doesn't get you wealthy. Okay, it gets you really tired. Okay, so you can do that if you want. And here's the best way to do it is at this company. But let me show you something else, right? Let me show you something else. And let me show you something else, right? You got to get them excited about the opportunity. But they're looking for the way to do what their vision was in the first place because they don't know that this opportunity truly exists. So three-way calls can be with anyone in your upline you choose to edify. This is duplicatable. Anybody can do this. You position them as an expert and much more knowledgeable source. So say, listen, this person, they're great. They're one of the top people in the company. They understand the game of selling real estate and also how to make a ton of money with the opportunity. And you're going to love them. They love to help people, right? Like that's just, you just want to edify the person that you're sending to. Someone worthy of their time and attention. And I'm not going to do the bathroom close, but Rob Flick shared with me the bathroom close, and I laughed so hard. But it's probably not the most appropriate to be on camera.
Now we have to.
All right. So he said, this is. Now, I never get past that. I keep meaning to take that off so I don't have to explain it. But if the bathroom closes when this is a guy thing. When you're and your buddy are with out, and one of them goes to the bathroom, and your buddy is telling them how what a great person they are and how nervous they were to meet with you, this, that, and the other, while you're in the bathroom, and they're edifying you how great you are and all this stuff, and then that's how they help you get the date. So you use the bathroom close. When you go to the bathroom, your buddy is supposed to be selling you like you're the best thing since sliced bread. Apparently that works.
Duly noted.
Right? So invitation script. So John, I'm glad you're interested. Now, I'm relatively new to EXP, and because I respect your time and expect you would want to get the most accurate information from the best source, I'm working directly with one of the top gals in the company. He knows how to make the big money, how the big money's being made here. You will love him. He's fun. He's easy to work with. Most importantly, he genuinely wants to help you win. If I could get him if I could get him on the phone, would you be open to talking to him? That's just a real, most people are going to say yes to that. I don't think people have a hard time when they're edified appropriately and they can legitimately make sense that they can help them. That's an easy one. Y'all need to take a picture of that? Cool. I'll share these slides with you guys too. Yep. That's a lot easier, right? So the three-way call script. John, I'm glad you're interested. Now, I think that's the same one actually. Yep, that is. Oh, that's if you want to just try to, that doesn't work too well, depending on how busy the person is. But if you can and they answer, it's a lot quicker than trying to schedule a call. So the agenda, share your background and your story about why you joined. Mention the success you've already had. Mention the many success stories across the entire group. Be relatable. What did it solve for people in their situation? Right? So if you understand what their situation is and you have other people that have the same problem and that problem has been solved by joining EXP, that's the kind of stories you want to be telling, aligned to their situation. Ask what questions they have. Let them know what the next step is. I'm going to have so-and-so send over the application. We have an email that we send that has the join link and a bunch of other things that I use it. I call it like the 80%. Like if I'm 80% sure they're there, but they're still going to be doing research, and it's got a lot of research links, and then it's got the how to join at the top of that email. So that's what I tell people to send them. If we get to the end of a three-way call, there's one or two things that happen. This is important. I don't think I have slides on this, but if we get to the end of the three-way call, it's almost inevitable that if they're coming, they say, what's the next step? They'll literally say, okay, so what's the next step? I hear it all the time on three-way calls, and I've done a lot of them. The first year I remember I didn't intentionally track it like this, but it was in my Schedule Once application, and I did 999 calls that year. I thought that was a lot, and that's like 3 a day or whatever. That's not that many, but I thought I worked really hard, but maybe not. But that's how many that I had in the calendar and there were all three-way calls. This was me supporting my group, right? I believe that makes a huge impact on growth, right? Those three-way calls are massively valuable. People that would not have came, right? Like a lot of people that would not have came. So the next step. So if they're not ready now, set them up with the next engagement. Yeah, this is it. So if they don't get to the end and they don't say, what's the next step? Then you want to automatically say, okay, based on where we're at, I think we should probably jump on a call with so-and-so, or let's set up another call. You want to set up the next engagement. Otherwise, they go into this black hole of, I don't know what happened, right? Like, I don't know if they're ready, I don't know if they're coming, don't know what they're thinking, but like you want to you always set up the next engagement. Don't let it fall off into a black hole, or you'll lose the follow-up, right? And so another thing that I would ask, if they had said, whenever I get on a call, I always ask, well, what did you like about what you saw? Because I don't do calls cold, I do them after they've seen something, right? So I want to know what they like about what they saw. And when you ask that question, if you ask the question I did ask before I learned this was, what did you think? Well, that's not a good question, because people don't think very smartly sometimes, right? So they think, well, blah, 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 whatever, right? It's not, they don't give you the positive thing. So when you ask, what did you think about what you saw? They will tell you what they liked about what they saw, right? There's something that they're interested in. And whatever that is where you're going to want to focus in on. And right, so at the end of this, if I haven't got them to say what's the next step, then I'm going to say, well, it sounds to me like, your goal is you want to sell X number of homes a year. It sounds to me like we need to set up a next call, and let's do it. We'll break down what we're going to do to help you get to that next level of growing your business. So we set up basically a game plan call where we're going to help them to build out their plan for how we're going to help them grow their business, right? If they say it's revenue share, so I always ask, well, how much, if it was a year from now, so let's blink, it's a year from now, how much a month in revenue share would you need to be making to say this was the best decision you ever made? And that's a really good question. And they'll always, it's funny because it's almost like probably, no, it's more than 50, but it's probably 70% of the time they say $5,000 a month. That's the number. I don't know why, but that's just the number. And so whatever that number is, okay, well, it sounds to me like what we need to do is let's lay out the plan for how we're going to help you to get to $5,000 a month of revenue share, right? And that next call, you're going to lay out the plan for how, basically take them through the same process here, right? You're just going to start the process of going through the agent attraction training, right? Like that's what this is. This is agent attraction training. We're going to start taking them through the process. Hey, we're going to get a wealth chart. We're going to make your list. And okay, so we need to get this many people to get this many people to get this many people. You can use the non-official calculator that doesn't exist somewhere. I'm sure somebody has. I've heard rumors of, and show them what's possible, right? And so always set that next engagement. So recruit to invite versus invite to recruit. Option one, you can invite 5 people to the next live event that you have in your marketplace, or the next even online event. And one shows up and that's your potential for the week. Or you could recruit an agent earlier in the week and get their fresh untapped list of 20 to 30 people and invite them to the event and get 5 to 6 to show up, and you're going to grow exponentially, right? So always be thinking about that person that just joined and their whole list of people that haven't been tapped, right? And getting those people to live events, getting those people to see the opportunity. Create urgency. If you can't create urgency, then people don't take action, right? 2-for-1 stock split coming up. Man, you gotta get in, let's go. What are you waiting for? Right? There's always something to get people excited about EXP. Is there not? Always something new. Did we just open like 10 countries? Those are great reasons. Like, do you know anybody in any of these countries? We just opened literally just this many countries. The time is now. They're brand new, breaking ground in new country. You know people there. We got to get you on this now, right? People will jump because they want in, right? They're in on that ground floor. They feel like that's an opportunity that, okay, let's do it. Dangle the Carrot, that's the new country opening, launching in their area, relatively unknown in their area. I love it when somebody says, well, we don't really have anybody at EXP in your area. Are you kidding me? What's that?
94.
94? Whee. Here we go.
Whoa!
Right. Yeah. Giddy up.
Let's stop and buy some stock right now.
Get your orders in.
Wow.
Right. So those are all good reasons, right? Everybody that's on your will chart should be getting a screenshot of that announcement and the stock price. Let's go. Let the prospect know you're meeting with several others. Like, back to areas that are unknown. So, are you kidding me? Like, I've been doing this for 3 years, and in the beginning, there was open areas that didn't have a lot of people that were influencers in them. And I can tell you, those were the biggest opportunities. That's real. Like, if somebody joins, it's an influencer in a market where there wasn't an influencer. It changed that game in that market, and that's how they brought more influencers. Who brought more influencers? We watch it happen in every market. So if somebody tries to tell me there's not an influencer in their market, I get excited and be like, are you kidding me? This is a bigger opportunity than I thought it was for you. Like, this is how we grew, okay? And if you're one of the first influencers in your market, like if they try to tell you that, then this is a bigger opportunity than you probably could even recognize, right? And that's real. Like, I know that to be true. So that's another reason, creating urgency, reason to do it now. So the welcome call, get new people on 2 to 3 welcome calls with people either in your group that can relate to them or even help them with where they're at in their business. So if you're bringing people on that are doing more business or equal to where you're at, and you don't have something that you feel real confident you could help them with to grow their business, make sure they get on calls with other people in your group. They don't have to be linear. It can be anyone in your group. Say, hey, listen, you need to meet up with so-and-so. They're freaking amazing, and they're killing it with these pipelines and growing their business, and get them connected to people that can help them, right? Everybody wants to help each other at this company. That's one of the greatest things about it. 5 to 7 minutes max. Tell their story, ask for their why, paint the company vision, then for the recruit's future. Explain and book their OLC is PGP. That we changed that language. Private group presentation. And tell a private group presentation success story, right? Get them started with filling out their well chart. Promote training class and weekly lunch and learns. Make sure that they're getting plugged into events. Edify their sponsor and the 2 full-time upline leaders they will be working with, right? So that's the process for the welcome call for new people. Get in versus let in. Success in agent attraction is a mindset and a philosophy. Many people are out there trying to get people. That's not the approach. You'll be lucky if we let you in, right? You want to prospect people to see who you would like to let into your group at EXP. I don't want to work with every agent. I don't know about y'all. I'm only looking for people that are looking to win. I'm not looking to make losers winners. I'm looking to make winners win bigger. Who wants to come win with us, right? That kind of mindset, the kind of people that you're talking to will change. The dynamic of your group will be completely different if you're just anybody that you could drag over a dead body, lifeless body over to EXP ain't what you're looking for. You're looking for people that want to win, that want to do more. For me, what I say is, who's right for EXP, who's wrong for EXP? Everybody should be at EXP, except if you don't want to grow from where you're at. If you're a potted plant and you don't want to sell any more houses than you do now, and it's less than 10 a year, stay where you're at. You're not one of us. Not for us, right? That's not who I'm looking for. So massive communication equals massive income. So this is pretty close. I kind of try to spot check whether this is exact or not for me, and it's not probably perfect, but it's pretty close. We're in the business of moving people to action. 25% is new people that I'm talking to, right? 25% of my time is following up with existing prospects. And this is true should be true for all of us. 25% of our time is doing 3-way calls for my team, and 25% calling my team to promote something and inspire action. I think this is a really good depiction of where Gove's at too in his business, probably, right? Like, Gene, you probably does that feel pretty right for where you're at? I know this was real heavy for me for the first year and a half. I spent a lot more time on 3-way calls.
I don't do new prospects.
Right. Yeah. Once you get to a certain point, that filters back a little bit, and it becomes more of this. Yeah. So leaders creating leaders. That's really what this is all about, right? So it's funny. We had we had a coach, an action coach. He was the number 1 action coach. The action coach is like a branded coaching program that's generic for any industry kind of thing. We coach with everybody, like everybody got our money. We had this guy, Earl Kemper, that we were in a mastermind with, and we hired him as a coach. And he came to our strategy meeting, and he wrote up on the wall, on the board, leaders, creating leaders, right? And I was like, what is he talking about? Leaders, creating leaders. Because we were small, we didn't have a lot of management layers, and as we grew, we ended up having it, and I totally understood what he was saying. This became one of our core values, is you're creating leaders in the organization, and you spend time with these people, and you're helping them to help others, right? And that's really what this is all about. And then, the question you got to ask is, would you follow you? Right? Would you follow you? Right? This is very much a business of where people are coming because of you. Right? So you have to step your game up in order for people to follow you. You got to raise your level. You got to raise your standards have to be raised in order for you to lead other people. Right? And so I remember back in the day when I didn't have a calendar and I could get away with that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you start hiring people and they're like, these people ain't using a calendar. Like, how do they organize their day? Oh, wait a minute. They learn from me because I'm not using one, right? So like, you got to level up in order to help other people level up, right? And so this is going to always force you to be working on yourself and growing yourself. You have to genuinely care about your team's goals and inspiring them to hit their goals. You need to know what their goals are. You need to get involved with helping them get clear on what their goals are, and you need to be involved in helping celebrate them as well, which I think is actually the next. So a good leader knows their team's why. You must focus on developing people versus making sales. That's really, again, it's just a little shift in the thinking. This isn't about trying to sell someone coming over here. You're developing people. Your goal is to duplicate yourself. Your goal should be for people under you to out-earn you, right? Like, I want to see somebody beat me, like, that comes up from behind. And I think Veronica might do it. She's on a pace that's blazing right now. And there's a good chance she's going to come and pass me. And I hope she does, right? Like, that would be a huge celebration. What leaders do, we solve problems. We turn challenges into positives. We keep our group on track and plugged into the system, promote calls and events, run contests for your team to keep them engaged, help people set goals, inspire, motivate using stories, teach how-tos, read motivational books and promote the same. Be a good, what was Gene just doing here earlier? Reading motivational books and promoting it to all of us, right? You want to be doing these things. Be a good financial example, build team culture. Never fracture from the company's vision or from your group, right? Don't fracture off and try to do your own thing, create your own thing. You want to stay in alignment with the company's vision, and you want to stay in alignment with your group and what they're doing, right? Don't try to go create. The system we have is a system that you can go try to do your own thing, create your own group, and I'm going to do this thing over here. But you need to make sure you're still in alignment with, hey, I'm plugging you into our group, and I'm plugging you into all stuff in the company. Like, don't try to go off on an island. That does not work. I've seen a few people try to do that, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't. You want to stay aligned to the company, get people plugged into the company, get people plugged into your group. The bigger the group, the better. Always edify. What leaders do, always edify, allow themselves to be led, be responsible, accessible, reliable, caring, and empowering. Track their business and know their numbers. Absolutely. Track your business and know the numbers. I write it down every single day, sometimes 3 times a day. Helps track downlines, business, and numbers as well. Be in pursuit of mastery. Become a better speaker, presenter. The growth of your group ultimately is going to be based upon the number of people in your group that can actually give a quality presentation over time. So they don't need to all do that right out of the gate, but once they get to a certain level of people, they should be able to give that presentation and do what you do on a 3-way call, right? They should be able to do the same. If you're leading them properly to get on a 3-way call and you're doing it and you're teaching them, here's how you do it, and then you're doing it the way you're teaching them to do it, then they should be able to do the same after a period of time. They won't need you anymore. They'll do their own. Dan Hillsman does his own 3-way calls for his whole group now. Got 500 people. I can't do it for all of those people. I got Dan trained. Dan can do it. And every once in a while he needs me, I'll do one, happily. But that's a leader that's creating leaders within his own organization, and that's going to grow and grow and grow and grow, right? So give away credit, accept blame, recognize others for their accomplishments, raise the lid for their team, sit in the front row and stay engaged at events. Don't just go and kick it in the back and act like you're not engaged and not a part of it. Connect massively and communicate massively. The vision question, if we were having this conversation 3 years from today, what would need to have happened both personally and professionally for you to say that this was successful? That's a good question. both personally and professionally, for you to say this was successful, right? Recognition, babies cry for it, men die for it. First thing we did in our group was we created a list of the top people in our organization, in our group. So it started out as the top 40 list, and we just, pulled it out of the, we're gonna have all this data, I think, soon. The tech team's working on, it's gonna be amazing what we'll be able to do with that. But we have a top 200 list now. People want on that list so bad, it's unreal how people, they get so excited to get on that list, and it's just a list, right? Like, it just is a list, that's all it is. But they love it, and so get them engaged, man. People are like, oh man, next month I'm gonna be on that list. We're like, look, I'm number 199, I'm on the list. People get real excited about that. So that's just recognition. We love it. Modeling success, the multi-million-dollar earners all desire to be the best at their craft and excel in the following areas. Speaking ability, motivating and leading, creating leaders, storytelling, living a life others want to model. In Puerto Rico, keeping the business. I probably underestimated the value of the lifestyle and people watching us in this transition to Puerto Rico. It's a massive thing, right? Most people don't even dream this big, right? In 3 years, it can happen, right? So it's a big deal, for sure. Presenting the opportunity, attending and promoting events. Treat this amazing opportunity to earn revenue share by bringing Agency XP like you do your business, and you'll not only change your own life but the life of many others. That's really the ultimate here. And this was just on the day that I gave this presentation. Glenn was in the room. So, and again, thank you, Glenn, for creating this amazing company. Thank you. That's it. That's all I got.